Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. So, you're welcome to the episode 2 of our special segment with Cerelac, where we dive deep into the world of parenting. Today, we're talking about something that's on every parent's mind, the whip versus the talk. Exploring parenting styles. We'll be comparing the two popular approaches. Gentle parenting, you have to do this properly. Tell me how you feel. And I see how you feel, but just come talk to me. Versus the traditional parenting. Are you all right? It's going to be a heated conversation here. And trust me, I think these two couldn't be more different. So let us see what you think about it. You can join the conversation on 020-1635-2013, 090-241-63440. You can also send your comments on X and YouTube. We'll be happy to share the thoughts. So today, every coach, every parenting coach, every life coach, every anything coach will tell you, don't spank your children. Just talk to them. You have to talk about how they feel. You ask them, what are you feeling right now? And
right,
you keep having, they keep telling us that, have you asked her what she's thinking, what she's feeling? Have you come to her level, want to be her friend? And then you're thinking, juxtaposing that to somebody telling you, you're not your child's friend until you're easy. I remember I told you that many years ago. I think it was Mrs. Olayemi that told me when I was a young mother. She came to our church and she says, you are not your child's friend a day before 18. And that thing stuck to me like glue. Like before 18, I am your parent. After 18, we can now begin to have a conversation as friends, And then she was talking about how some kids, she made us understand they're different kind of children. Some need the whipping, some need the talking, some need the speaking to, but they're different kinds of kids. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Because whether we like it or not, some also argue that we have to do both. Others are saying, I have successfully raised a child without spanking that child. I've raised a responsible adult without raising my voice. So there are successes on all ends. But which one do we choose, especially considering our client? That's the conversation. Who wants to jump in first? Ramatu or Miriam?
Okay. For me, I feel like mine is a balance. I don't know about constantly just asking, how are you doing? How are you feeling? I definitely raise my voice when I need to raise my voice. I definitely insist on proper discipline when it needs to be done. There's punishment that is meted out. One thing that I know that I've always said is the beating. And I still stand by it, especially in our own community, in our own climb, which is where we have seen children being physically abused in the name of parenting. Children will be whipped so hard that their skin is falling off. You even break lips or whatever. So I've seen that degree of people saying that they're instilling discipline. And so that's why for me, I say, that beating thing does not work. And also, when you get to a certain stage, my children are preteens. Well, one is a preteen, one is already a teenager. And I realized that you deploy different parenting skills, really, as they grow older. You can, if you used to spank them when they were younger, because you could, at this age, it would mean nothing. A lot of it has to do with talking, taking away what they like and giving them, and then also giving them rewards for, some good behavior to encourage them. There's a lot of talking involved, and asking them, what do you want for yourself? If you want this in my house, the conversation, what do you want for yourself? If this is what you want for yourself, this is how to get it. If not, these are the consequences of your behavior. So they've gotten to the age where they understand there is a reward for a certain behavior and there's a consequence, even without your parents being involved. This is you're making your life's decision. Then finally, I think what I've now noticed, my children, I've always said are very different, two very different personalities. My daughter, if she thinks you're upset with her, if she thinks you're going to take something away from her, if like you're going to punish her, she will do better. My son, if he thinks that's what you're going, he will even be more rebellious. But when you are kinder to him, you positively affirm him, you encourage him, he wants more of that, so he will do better. Okay. So taking away from him does not make him better, and her giving more will just make her more spoiled. So figuring that out also helped me to know that there are two different people and two different ways.
Marcy, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've learned something from you, Miriam. That's so nice, because I'm going to adopt that for my son. And
Are you shouting?
I shout a lot. I won't lie, because man, especially that boy. The boy is something else. So I use the gentle and the traditional method. Even though the gentle method, I'm still learning, I'm still trying, so that, because there was a time I read somewhere, it said, have a meeting with your children. That meeting that day was a different story entirely. I put all of them together and I was like, let's have a meeting. What do you guys think? The next thing, Mommy, no, this, that. They were just talking. And then I wanted to, interrupt. My daughter now said, Mommy, let me finish. I was like, okay, good tomorrow. And in fact, I didn't even know when I just lost my cool. I was like, what? Why will you say that to me? Because I called you guys for a meeting. But this meeting is not even going to work. The next thing, I started shouting. I'm telling you. Then there was another time again.
I'm not that bad. I do this.
You reminded me of one meeting because I was like, oh, please, I just said express. And I said, okay, all of you, I'm always shouting, okay, it's time for you guys to really express yourself. I calm down, In fact, there was even drink, all of that. Oh, yeah, let's be talking. The next thing, Mommy, let me finish.
What is wrong in let me finish?
Exactly.
The way she said it, the tone.
There's the
tone. Yes, the way she said it and the tone. The way I interrupted, I was
let me
like,
tell you how they've taught us how to handle that kind of thing. Be rude to me and say, Mommy, let me finish.
Let me finish.
Okay, let me say it the way she said it. I interrupted. Mommy, let me finish. Let me finish.
I see you're angry. I can tell you're angry.
Okay.
So I'll let you to put the anger aside and let's speak one-on-one. So we're not discussing feelings now. I want you.
You have used the whole 30 minutes.
I'm trying to. Mechanism. So I get that. So I hear you. I feel you. I mean, most parents too try to put on that. Okay, we shouldn't shout back. But we try to. Okay, you're angry. I can tell you're angry. Can we talk again when you're calmer? Should we postpone this meeting for another hour so you can come back after everybody cools off? That's how they taught us. That's how this could
one time. I don't do that.
Immediately she did that.
Okay.
Immediately she did that.
Yes.
I changed. I changed it. So the thing is, I do very well when I change back to house. The insult she got that day. In fact, I started shouting.
So
this meeting is cancelled.
Me, I will correct you because what you probably have done is postpone the meeting. So obviously you're getting upset. You shouldn't raise your voice at your mom, first of all. You're not supposed to raise your voice at me. And because you raised your voice at me, we're going to postpone this meeting. Let's have it. Everybody go cool off. Come back again. So that's probably the approach of the modern woman. Now, what you did was the traditional woman. That's not wrong, though.
So, and it was immediately she did it.
Immediately she did it.
So what I would have done is, we can have a conversation or we can throw tantrums. And I'm not going to be throwing tantrums with you. First warning.
Warning.
You must give them warning so they now understand, okay, because they are growing too, they are understanding, they're trying to figure out their feelings. So they need to understand. So when you call them out on that bad behavior, then it's, my children, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was a learning opportunity at that moment to teach her how to react when somebody does that.
Exactly. So I learned that. I learned immediately after when I finished, because I was like, and I went and sat down, I talked to myself. I was like, but I was the one that, called for the meeting. Yeah. And I said they should express themselves. So she must have expressed herself, even though she didn't express with the right tone. Okay. So I was able, but that was like the very first time when I started, trying to use the gentle and then the traditional approach, but man, I use more of the traditional approach because I was brought
before Nima I just remember many years ago when my auntie called for a meeting. She says, "Come, we'll talk with your mom." My mom and her two sisters, and then they deceived us that we're allowed to sit down at this meeting and just express ourselves. At the end of that meeting, we were kneeling down there and beating up. We learned that when they call you for meeting, just behave yourself.
That's the thing. You're coming for a meeting. Don't forget who you're holding the meeting.
It was not even my mom. It was my sister. I cannot believe you said that about your mother. Hey, Jesus! My mother was like, what I'm dealing with.
Confirmed.
Nima, so in your own view.
Hey, I want to tell you.
Thank you.
I cannot I don't have the patience. So my parents, particularly my dad used to dialogue with us. But when I try with my kids, I don't understand. So maybe I'm at the stage I need to understand them. Maybe when they enter full teenage age. But because I'm more of children, and particularly my son, there's arguments. There's nothing you're dialoguing about. So I'm the parent, I'm not your friend. You know, we used to do bestie. I just woke up last week, and the dad said, bestie language is no longer appropriate in this house. Your mom is not your best friend. I am not your best friend, because Gufran is bestie to her dad, and my son is bestie to me. So, no, there's no more bestie. We are mommy and daddy.
Simple.
Because they don't, they abuse her. See, I'm not in that category of Kini. Yesterday, I was talking to them for Salat Maghrib, and I had to use the toilet. Usually, we pray as a family, but I was in the toilet. I kept saying, go ahead, go ahead. You know, I talked till I finished. I came out of the toilet. Once I came out, I picked my cane, gave the two of them correction, resetting cane, and went back to, I don't have to talk again, because I have been talking. Sometimes you are talking, and it's not working. Just as Miriam said, each child, their nature, their natural inkling. So you know what to use for one, you know what works for one, does not work for the other. Sometimes it's the rod. Sorry. Sometimes it's the rod. You know, sitting here, I've tried to learn, talk, but sometimes it's the Pancar. It's my symbol of authority. It just sits there. I don't even have to use it again in my house. Once I'm holding it, it's like a maze in Parliament. I'm sitting there holding my maze. Everybody head go reset, because once I hold it, somebody's gonna chop it.
Let me go on a short break.
I like that. When I hold it, somebody's gonna chop it.
When we go on a short break, we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.